So let's look at the routing and with that analog summing mixer. You don't need this at all. I bought one because I thought it seemed cool, and it was cool. I got a Dangerous Audio. I'll put a picture up here of my outboard gear. So here's what's going on. I route everything depending on what it is. Starting with the drums, they go to, I route these to 7/8. The bass is routed to 5/6. So on the one I have, the 2-bus plus, there's 2 of the channels you can set to mono. So the bass is routed mono, and the vocals, lead guitars, anything I want dead center, I route to the mono channels. So bass is routed 5/6, which is a mono channel. Rhythm guitars go to 9/10. And you see, nothing here goes to a stereo out. Everything goes. I have my fillers in 11/12. Got the solo. Oh, a solo in this case to 11/12. Usually I route that to 13/14. That's probably because I have some. Yeah, I have the stereo delay. That's why. The bridge stuff goes to 15/16. So I get these outputs right here. And here you can see my bass drums, guitar, filter, lead, filter, and FX. I route all my effects, reverbs, and stuff to its own channel. And this is just like adding an extra bus. You know, there's really no difference. It's just now it goes through some outboard stuff, and it gives it has some pretty nice saturation options that I use. And here's more stuff I do with almost everything. All my buses, and I'm always experimenting with this, but this is how I did this mix. All my buses more or less have some compression on them, and it's very, very gentle. Like this is a drum bus out. And then like filler stuff, I tend to squeeze harder. The synthesizers, like for me, 11/12 and 15/16. That's where I route my fillers, my ambient stuff, all that. I tend to squeeze those a good bit harder. And then you see there's Pro MB and a bunch of them, and this is just my vocal sidechain. Every time Kalle sings anything, it's gonna push down these frequencies to leave more room for him. It's just like scooping out a nice little pocket for the vocal to sit in without me having to raise it up so it gets so loud. And here's a cool thing I did with the guitars, and this works really well. Good old Pro Q3. Because when I listen to it, it's just like, it feels like he is competing around this frequency range with the guitars. All right, I load the guitars now. I don't hear the riff. I raise the guitars, but I scoop those frequencies out. Now the guitars sound really dull. You know, big picture stuff here. So what I did was I created a band right here. I routed it to the vocal sidechain again. So every time he sings, it's gonna dip out with the dynamic EQ right here. And that's it. And then I boosted a little bit, and I took a little bit out here because I felt it needed it. But like, if we listen to just this. So it's pretty cool. The guitar still sounds like the guitar. And every time he's not singing, it's beefy and bright and all that. But when he comes in, it's just like the total amount of frequency is kind of the same, because when he comes in, you know, we add and we subtract the same amount. So it just really nice way of, it's a solid way of creating more space for the vocal. Then what I do, then I route all of these, go out into my outboard gear. And here's a crazy thing I tried on this track, but it worked pretty cool, so I might use this. I have a JST clip in the 2-time mode that I think this is supposed to be here. I must have moved it by mistake. About 3 dB, and then I trim it by the same amount, mixes at 100. And then this in turn goes into my outboard stuff, which is, I'll put a picture up for you. This is how I got it routed, because cables going out the back. This goes into a compressor and a couple of Moog, what they call EQ4, that I really only use for the air band. And then on the compressor, it just absolutely barely kissed the meter. I have a Pro Q3 here on my master bus, and then of course all that goes back into the computer. It's my master bus. I have a real knack of scooping too much around here-ish, so I'm just adding a little bit of it back in. That in turn goes into Comp Prime. The 2-to-1 ratio, 1 to 2 dBs of compression, really slow attack, fast release. Here's another thing I use, Magic Mastering in FabFilter Saturn 1, but the mix is set to 0. It's very subtle, but it adds a little bit of harmonic, a little bit of a harmonic information. Here's the next crazy thing I do. This is the same parallel compressor trick that I used on the, was it the bass or the rhythm guitar and the drums. Dry is at 0, wet gain, season to taste very, very gently. This is master bus, so any small deviation is going to make a small variation is going to make a huge change. So yeah, it's compressing a load, right? But I only have this much wet going. And this just brings out the transients ever so gently. So pretty quick attack, very fast release, and just a teeny tiny. And hey, you do whatever you want. You don't have to do what I do. I think this sounds cool, that's why I do it. I got the Gullfoss. Thank you, Nolly, for the recommendation about Recover 20 Tame 10. And this is because I don't trust my listening environment or my ears. Definitely add some. The room I'm in is both very boomy and very bright. So even with treatment in here, it's hard to be sure. This feels like an extra layer. It's like wearing a condom a little bit. You know, you're still gonna enjoy it, but it's a little safer. And then I stack limiters because I'm crazy like that. And that is everything that is going on in this song. Let me know if you found this helpful, what you would like to see next. Like and subscribe to all those things, and I'll put the Spotify link to where you can listen to this and bang your head at home. And let me know if you want to hear more music from us. Also, the track that's on Spotify was very lovingly mastered by Eric Hill, so thank you, Eric Hill. Cool. I think that's it. Hope you learned something. I had a good time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.